for this almost towards the end of this beautiful marathon of Good Shepherd presentations at the CSW virtual booth. It's been an incredible journey. I think for most of us, it's been a continuous source of wonder of the richness, the variety, the real passion for advancing rights of girls, women, children from all corners of the world. Really amazing. So today we're going to zoom into Congo, DR Congo, the Democratic Republic of the Congo, where we have our Bon Pasteur friends connected with us from Kolwezi. We're going to talk about a little bit more specific topic, child labor eradication, which is one of the focuses of Bon Pasteur Good Shepherd mission in this fragile, complex, but also very rich and very energetic country that I'm very happy to welcome here today. I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview and a framing on what are we talking about when we mention child labor and the efforts of the global community towards child labor eradication. So you might not know that 2021, this crazy year, after another crazy year, has been declared the International Year of Child Labor Eradication. And the 12th of June will be the day when all those who are involved and want to take action to contribute to eradication of child labor will be called to come together and voice and present their actions. Child labor eradication is part of the SDGs, and you might know that there is an alliance for achieving this target number 8.7 that is connected exactly to child labor. And the ILO, the International Labor Organization, is facilitating these efforts within the alliance and for the International Year of Eradication of Child Labor. But what are we really talking about? Isn't child labor something of the past, something that the world has left, behind in the 19th century, at least for, let's say, the largest part? Actually, the figures give us a bit of a gray situation across the world. Between 2000 and 2016, there's been a decrease in child labor globally, 38% decrease. And therefore, about 100 million children, it's a big number, have been removed from child labor over the past 20 years. So we would say we are in a good spot now. But actually, another 152 million children across the world are estimated still being involved in child labor. And this is across economic sectors. It's in agriculture, in services, in industries. And as we will see in Kolwezi, mining is one of those sectors where this is particularly evident and particularly risky for children. So are we all in agreement that child labor is a serious phenomenon that affects the basic rights of children? And it is defined by international standards as a type of work that is hazardous and demands too many hours, or is performed by the children who are too young, and therefore harms children mentally, physically, socially, and morally, interferes with their schooling, preventing them from attending or concentrating. And it might, in many cases, being involved in actual slavery and being separated from their families and exposed to illnesses that will affect their development forever. But if we think about it, let's ask ourselves why children still work. Why still children have to work this day and age in 2021? They work because they're forced to work, because their survival depends on it, because their parents don't have access to decent work and to an income that allows the family to, to survive, to keep going, or because the national education system, the national protection system is not strong enough. We have here Winifred, who's our leader in advocating for the social protection floor, and this is definitely an area where we see the weaknesses of social protection systems. We also have to acknowledge that sometimes child labor, it's something that is the result of customary habits or cultural traditions that are definitely in a way harming the capacity of children to have access to the rights, and particularly to the right of developing safely and according to their age. So we said globally, 152 million children between 5 and 17 are estimated to be involved in child labor. Half of them, 72.5 million, are estimated to perform hazardous work that places their health, safety, and moral development at risk. These are defined, and we're very familiar in Kolwezi with this definition, as the worst forms of child labor, which are considered not only a violation of the rights of the children, but a serious um, um, crime for those who benefit economically from this phenomenon. So this is where the attention also of the social, economic, political authorities and stakeholders should be most focused. This is the kind of work, the worst forms of child labor, that we have identified, observed, documented in Kolwezi since 2012, and is the kind of work that is still prevalent in the mining areas in and around Kolwezi, particularly in the most unregulated artisanal mining sites that we know is affecting their physical and psychological development. So my last question for you before leaving the floor to the presentations is, why are we talking about child labor today in the framework of the 2 weeks on CSW? Because from our experience, and the sisters will confirm this, working almost 10 years in Kolwezi, we see that to eradicate child labor, we cannot only work on children. We need to look at the root causes of the phenomenon. And one of them, it's definitely the lack of economic empowerment and agency of the women that are involved in the households, the mothers, the grandmothers, the girls who lack the opportunities, the alternatives for a decent income. And we have observed on the other end that when women are economically, politically empowered, the rate of children are involved in mining, in this case, in the worst forms of child labor, dramatically drops. So supporting women and girls' economic empowerment and their capacity to advocate for their rights is definitely a powerful driver to eradicate this incredible, terrible phenomenon that is still scourging our world and our society. So I now leave the floor to Sarah, who will share with us a very short clip that will give us a bit of the sense of what we're talking about from the real life testimonies. And then Sister Jane, the director of Bon Pasteur Kolwezi, will present to us the program from Kolwezi itself. Thank you.
sorry, was the wrong piece of video. This is a clip from the documentary Maisha that was produced in 2015. And we listened to the voice of Morgan, one of the children that was enrolled in the child protection program at in Canina.
This is Morgan. He worked in the mines alongside his father and his siblings.
J'avais parti à la carrière, il y a les blémas. Je travaille par jour, je trouve même 2000. Si je pars là-bas, il y a beaucoup de blémas. Les gens mourent là-bas. Ce n'est pas bien pour partir à la carrière. La carrière, c'est terminé maintenant. Je commence à étudier, je suis maintenant bien. Je commence maintenant à lire et à écrire, je connais maintenant. On a enseigné même les droits de l'enfant. L'enfant a droit de bonne santé. L'enfant a droit d'aller à l'école. Tous les enfants sont égaux.
L'enfant a droit à l'école, c'est-à-dire quoi?
This center began because of child protection. We wanted to protect the children from going to the mines.
À la manger, qui va corriger? Il dit l'enfant a droit à la manger. Donc nous allons d'abord construire l'espérance, la justice et quoi? Et la paix.
Thank you.
Yeah, and now I will leave the floor to Jane and all the Bon Pasteur staff around there.
Thank you very much and welcome to you all as we listen to our sharing from here, DRC, Kolwezi. And I just pick up from the sharing of Christina. You realize that what Christina has shared is the reality down here, because whatever BP is doing in Congo, it is a very strong teamwork between the sisters here and GSIF, which has helped us and led us to have the program where it is now. And that is the presentation I'm going to make on the overall reality of the program now, looking at the intervention initiatives that we are taking in order to be able to address the issues of child labor. As we have listened to Christina and we have seen from the clip, it is really a reality, and it is a reality which is still continuing, which calls for more and more to join hands in the field so that we can save our children and create a safe space for them. Then after that, you'll have Sister Flora and Sister Anuarite. We are going to narrow our sharing on the specific interventions in the CPP, which is the Child Protection Project and the Economic Empowerment Project. So now I begin by giving the location of Bon Pasteur Kolwezi, which is located in the cobalt copper belt of Kolwezi in Democratic Republic of the Congo. And we find that the main occupation and source of income among the population here, the main characteristics is the artisanal mining. And this is an activity that is undertaken by both the adults and the children without minding the short-term or long-term risks. As you can see the child presented here in the photo. You can imagine the burning sun and the effects of those minerals on the skin of the child. And I want to say that this child has not also eaten. So that one is a very risky space for the child. And this is what Bon Pasteur Kolwezi, together with the GSIF and the entire congregation, we are trying to look to answer to the signs of the time to come up with more and more effective initiatives of interventions. this reality, what we have seen, and as I have said above, is a reality that poses a lot of social, psychological, and health conditions, as you can see, because these children and the adults, they are day in, day out exposed to the minerals, exposed to the sun, and these people, when they are here with the hard conditions, they are also hardened and they become very aggressive, whereby they also react towards each other. And so anything to do with the values, with the virtues, it is completely eroded. And you can imagine now what our children who are in the mining are picking. That is now what is being molded in their hearts and in their innocent minds. So that's why Bon Pasteur is striving to create space for children whereby they can be formed according to the will of God, whereby they can be given the good values that at least in the future, we have people, our country, the church, and all the fields can be able to depend on. So all this includes child labor. It includes child labor, violence against women and girls. As you see, when they go to the mining there, it is really a kind of a job that needs muscles and a lot of strength. So the women, the girls, when they go there, there is a lot of prostitution. The girls are also abused against their will. And because they have to survive, as we had in the first presentation, that the realities in their families just send them there to look for money, they end up having no alternative and just give them to the evil, to the social evils, also contributing to poverty and a lot of human rights violation. So all these conditions, they bring an negative impact of corporate supply chain from they do the digging, they do the washing, and that is as if that is not enough, they also go to sell to oppressive buyers. So if we look at the slide that is on the screen, we have tried to give the percentages of what is happening and the realities. We have the violation of children's rights, whereby 70% of the children engaged in labor, causing trauma, long-term health hazards. The traumas would come from the experiences that the child are getting from there, whereby their undeveloped minds, they receive hard things. People die, they see people die, they see people fighting, they see people taking drugs, fighting, cutting each other, and all these things, they are too hard for their undeveloped mind. And that's why we are talking of the traumas in the children. There is a lot of sexual and gender-based violence, as I have said earlier, because the women, the girls, they have to survive there. And sometimes we find even the pregnant women are forced to go to the mining. And due to the environment and the effects of the environment, they also affect the unborn children. Or sometimes the unborn children die, or when they are born with not fully developed, not having strong immunity. And so you can imagine the kind of population that we are going to have. And that is why we are really striving to see if we can be able to save these people and give an alternative way of life. Then we see also poverty and hunger. And all these issues, if we look at them, they are all cross-cutting issues, whereby as the whole world, we are called to work towards eradicating them, because they are those which are denying the humanity to live the fullness of life as God has planned for each one of us. So as I had said there, we don't just sit back and see people suffering, and we try our best to come up with integrated models of intervention and to plan ourselves and to be in order to help us to have a clear way of addressing the issues that we find here in Kolwezi, and especially in the mining areas, BP embarked on a strategic plan 2018-2022, which spells out clear and specific integrated models of intervention. And this is what we will see in the presentation of the CPP, that is the Child Protection Project and the Economic Empowerment Project, the specific activities that we are doing to help the people to be economic empowered and to enable them to have an alternative way of earning income to sustain their families and to help them avoid going to the artisanal mining sites. So this includes informal education catch-up centers. We'll find that our schools, they are informal, because when we go to the mines and to the vulnerable families, we find children who are late to join school at the right age. And we find those who are at one moment in school and at one moment they were not able to continue because of the situations in the family, and especially lack of the basic needs. So all those children, we collected them, we put them in our centers, and we are able to journey with them, listen to them, and also put them in the education system, being able to put each child according to his or her own standard. And after grade 6, we are able now to have known where to integrate these children, that is in the formal education system. And from there, now they are able to move together with the rest of the children in the Republic of Congo. Now in this, we'll see our model, whereby we have the okay. At this moment, we look at the Bon Pasteur model, and as Christina has shared, we focus more on the root causes rather than focusing on the signs that are being presented by the people. And when we look at the root causes, as we can see down there, we have the gender-based violence and discrimination of women and girls. We have extreme poverty and food insecurity, systematic violation of children's rights and prevalence of women in the ASIMs, social fragmentation, and the other, we have the poor local capacity. So when we look at all these, they help us to understand the presented signs. And that is why I'm saying after my presentation, we will have the specific presentation on the real things that we are doing to be able to address these root causes, so that we can be able to address the needs that are being presented by the people that we come across. As Bon Pasteur also, in the first presentation, we heard that it has existed since 2013 until now. We are in 2021. So we also acknowledge that we have the strengths which are helping us to be able to move year after year and improving, and also trying to listen to the needs of the time, that is the new things that are coming up now. And we highlight our strengths as the GSIF, which supports us especially in fundraising and technical support, moving BP towards international standards. We also have a very dedicated BP staff. It's a big number right now. We are hitting 100 members of staff. Then we also have the Good Shepherd Sisters, the community administrative personnel, who are also very supportive to us, especially we have the chiefs in the mining communities where we are working, And whenever we went and explained what we want to do or the intervention activities that we want to inaugurate, we found that the chiefs and the local administrative personnel, they are very supportive, which is a very good strength for us. And then also we have a very well elaborated organogram that guides our daily activities. We know to help us to know from where we are moving, who is accountable to who, and this helps us to be able to answer to the cries of the poor. Then we can also forget all our past, current, and potential donors who help us to reach out to the vulnerable people of Kolwezi and convince them that they are children of God and another way of life is possible. And also the cooperation of the communities and their receptive disposition. We find it very important because actually in all the communities that we have gone, when we approach the members of the community, they are attentive and they want to hear the good news that we have brought to the communities, and they cooperate when we share with them their contribution, what we expect from them, and this gives us also the morale and the interest to continue with the mission. Now at this stage, we have the projected results, which I have with me here the M&D officer who collects for us the data, and I want to give him this honor to give us these projected results.
Thanks, Sister Jane. As you can see on the slide, BP's impact is to reach by 2022 90,000 people, including children and women, whose rights have been systematically denied, and we want to help them enjoy a more dignified life. So our key outputs with the program include having more than 4,000 children who will quit working in the mines and join schools. We are also targeting 1,800 girls that will gain skills and have access to decent jobs. We target also 3,000 women to be engaged in alternative livelihoods and ensure their full security and for their families. And in total, with our community activities, we are targeting up to 10,000 people that will be mobilized on human rights and also on social cohesion. And as results that we have achieved to date include 500 women have gained skills and they have access to decent jobs. We have formed up to 36 cooperatives that take 450 community members that engaged in income generating activities. Girls, we have achieved 180 girls and 60 women that have gained skills and they stopped working from the mines and are engaged in economic empowerment activities, including sewing and catering and bakery. So they have mastered the skills, and 80% of those girls engaged in those activities have stopped going to the mines. We have also, up to 2019, we have removed 2,263 children from the mines and from other forms of child labor, and all of them have been enrolled into catch-up schools from 8 communities. We have also sensitized more than 3,000 community members on the mining code. We are vulgarizing the mining code to the citizens in order to help them understand what are the provisions in the laws that the Congolese government has set for them as far as mining activities are concerned. And as Sister Jane stated, we have reached up to now 100 staff. So up to 2019, we had 88 people working on the program. And and this is very important, it's up to 2019, Bon Pasteur has managed to help 90% of the children that previously worked in the mines to quit working in the mines. And currently, though, we can see that the slide, we are going down because of the pandemic, and a few more children have gone back to the mine, like 23% as latest data.
So now, as we continue in the next slide, we see the realities in the mining, as we were sharing the dangers and the risks that the children and other people involved in that kind of work are exposed to. So this one is more of getting to familiarize ourselves in this. Then in this slide, we see there is a pharmacy here. I just felt it's good to share that as we have highlighted in the kind of the work that people are doing and exposing themselves to health risks, there is a scarcity of health services, especially in the mining communities. And this is one of the examples of the existing pharmacies where these people, when they get sick, they go to buy their medicine. And once you enter into one of the pharmacies, this card of the medicine that you find. So we see how risky it is. They get sick and then maybe they get the wrong medicine, or sometimes maybe even it is expired. We are not sure. So that's why we really need, and we are calling for many hands to come into the field that we can be able to help the community. And now from there, I will welcome Sister Flora to be able now to present for us the specific realities and activities that we do in CPP.
Thank you, Sister Jean. CPP is a child protection project, and as project activities, we have the awareness rising on child protection issues, children rights, abuses, child labor, early marriage. We also have the catch-up program, which prepares the children for formal education system. After they are out of the mine, they get into our centers, then they start following their studies from class 1 up to class 6. After getting their primary certificate, they are able to go to secondary schools. And the age in class 1 is, some of them are 9 years, 10 years. And as other activity, we have the feeding program in Kanina only, as per now, due to scarcity of resources. If enabled, we can replicate the feeding program to other sites. We will find that even in the sites where we are, not only in Kanina, there are many children who are malnourished, but because of our inability, we can say we are not able to help them with feeding. As Other activity, we have social work that ensures continuous connection between BP program and the families of the children. Achieved results. We have 3,500 children that quit working in the mines. 545 integrated into formal education system. 15 children this year will do Form 6 exam, hoping that next they will join university. 1,000 parents trained and subscribe to positive parenting practices. 645 children have improved their health status from malnutrition and other nutritional related complications.
Go ahead.
Impact. Through sensitization, the people have moved to a level of being able to choose what is good for them and their children. We have more girls in our centers nowadays, unlike before. Informal community-based reporting system is in a place for abuse cases. Medical services available through nurses in CPP and AP, thanks to our donors who keep our medicine shelves loaded. Here in the picture, we are in Chala. It was taken in Chala, our site. It is the informal school, and it is a church that was donated to us by the community to enable the children to study. Here we are in Kanina, Kolwezi in Domaine Marial, in our informal school where the children are attending their studies. Here we have one adolescent boy who was trained, and after the training, he was able to get the certificate. There are those who do vocational training. So after his training, he got the certificate and was employed, and now he can earn a salary that helps to attend to the needs of his family.
Now, at this moment, we have finished the presentation of CPP. We invite Sister Anwar Reed, the manager of Economic Empowerment Project.
Thank you, Sister Jane, and thank you for everyone. As Christine and Sister Jane and Nico, they have shared about the BP program, what we are doing as helping people in our Kolwezi, Congo, DRC. For me, I can talk about the economic empowerment for women and girls, and the project that we are usually do and activity, sensitization on human rights, to know their rights wherever they are, gender discrimination, HIV awareness, because in Kolwezi nowadays, HIV, it is, many of them, a lot of men, they are not awareness. And also family planning, as you have known all of us that in Congo, many of them, they are giving birth to 10 children, 14, 12, and COVID-19 awareness, family code, cultural belief. There are those who are in cultural belief that we are usually go there, and the early marriage and self-esteem and therapies. And in vocation training, we usually have sewing, catering, hairdressing, baking, crocheting, outside catering. And also we have decoration for the wedding and other gathering, adult literacy. Follow-up for the past student for monitoring purpose. And the achieved result or impact that we have done, we have 36 young girls who were able to start their personal businesses
such sewing, hairdressing, and catering that it is helping them to evaluate their family and to eat each day. And we have 8 young girls are empowered and earning a salary at the end of the month, that they have already have a job. Now they are happy with their own family. We have 11 women have started small scale businesses in sewing, catering, and bakery. We have 8 women are empowered and earning a salary. As you have seen the picture of hairdressing and beauty, this is the teachers that they are teaching them. And you have seen now this is the plant. We have, it is in Kanina. And this one, this is the dressmaking. Those who are in Kapata, we have women and girls as with their teachers. And we have women who are doing that baking, as you have seen the bread, the nice bread that it is helping them at least to improve with their own family. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much, Sister Noarit, for your presentation. And now at this moment, I welcome each one of us to hear live testimonies of 2 of our members from here, DRC. We have one young man who was with BP since conception. He was in the first class where the sisters, when they arrived in DRC, the first children that they encountered in the mining, thanks to Sister Catherine, Margaret, and Sister Jen. He will come here and give us his experience in the mining, his experience in the education, and also he will share with us his vision. And as you can see behind us, we have the children who are ongoing now. We also felt it is good as he shares, he can be a testimony to them that another way of life is possible and they can also make it. So most welcome. And Nico will be with him to be helping the rest of us who will not understand the language.
Bonjour à tous.
Hello, everyone.
Je réponds au nom de Munga Léonard, Dieu merci, élève de la 6e des humanités, option pédagogique générale.
My name is Leonard Monga, Dieu merci. I am in 6th form from Bon Pasteur School.
Mi nafundaka ku complexe scolaire Le Berger.
I study at complexe scolaire Le Berger.
Cette année, Miko finaliste.
This year, I am a finalist.
Je vais parler par rapport de ma vie de la carrière.
I would like to tell you my story about my life in the mines.
Âge miringana mu carrière, mi kona âge à 14 ans.
I started working in the mines when I was 14 years old.
Kile kilinipousse niende nikenge mu carrière kupitia bazazi abakuwe na moyen kuendelea kwa masomo.
What pushed me to go to the mines was the fact that my parents had no means to take me to school.
Njo kilinipousse nibebe decision niende nikenge mu carrière.
That's what pushed me to work in the mines.
Na mu carrière mi ringia mu groupe ya barafiki njo ba renipousse niende nikenge mu carrière mule.
I joined a group of friends that pushed me to go to work to the mines.
Na kile kilinipousse niende kwenye nikenge mu carrière mule. Njumi shukwe na kile nilianza kufanya, masomo nilianza kushomei sana, nilikuwa nikala pa kunyumba.
What else pushed me to go to work to the mines was the fact that I had nothing to do when I stayed at home, and also because I was not going to school.
Mi ringia mu carrière, mi nenda ku vivre ma conséquences ile mi patamo.
I went and made my life in the mines, and there are consequences that have happened to me.
Tukaanza kuingia mu manjimu ya ma 50 metres, 30 metres ndio ya kwenda kutafuta ma minere.
I used to work in the mining pits that were of 5 meters.
Na mule muma carrière tu miringia miripata mo mabintu bimoya mikwanisha onaka kusafiri kwa kwangu.
That was the first time I had to experience life in the mine and seeing the things that are happening in the mines.
Miringia mu group ya barafiki beku na futa banakunywa beku na sharatika.
When I was working in the mines, I got in a group of friends that used to smoke, drink alcohol, and some were doing prostitution.
Manque education shukwe nayo na mie finir kwenda kuingia mule ma group.
As they had an influence of me, I started doing those things too.
Na mule ma group miringia miriishi nabo pendant 3 ans carrière.
I lived with them for 3 years in the mines.
Tukaanza paka kwenda tukunenda utafuta paka maminere na miranzo pata ba garçon ba jangu ba fi bale beku mweza je na mamimba mule.
We kept looking for minerals in the mines, and at the same time I could see young girls getting pregnant.
Na conséquence miripata mo kwa maebulema kwa mingi mu carrière batoto bya lukula malaria ina ya age yabo.
There were diseases in the mines, but also rock falls in the mines as we were working in the mining pits.
Parfois utengia mule kama upate ukirudi kunyumba unalala pashiko kura.
But working in the mines was not always giving us money. Sometimes we could not make money and we had to spend the night hungry.
Kupitia carrière mir finiraka bani bambaka na kunibamba bani pinir mule bani blessé kupitia mwaele shukwe nayo.
Because of working in the mines, I was also arrested and wounded after being beaten by those who arrested me.
Mon carrière mir calmo sana mais pourquoi chiku mir bebaka décision ya kwa cha carrière.
I spent many days in the mines, and then one day I decided to quit the mines.
Mir mwambia muzazi nasema nitengia tena mu carrière tekala kunyumba kama mishi hakuna muna na moya kufundi ya kunipeleka kwa masomo tekala pa kunyumba shitenda tena.
I told my parents that I will no longer go to the mines. I will stay home, and if you don't have money to take me to school, I will just stay home.
Areni poser question pourquoi pas autenda tena mule mu carrière ni nini na kutuse wikale pa nyumba.
And they asked me why I decided to stop going to the mines.
Mina sema ile bintu mino namo kama mina continue mintalabika sana ntalabika shitakuwa tu muntu mujima mu maisha.
I told them that the things that are happening in the mines will deprive me of my future, so I don't want to continue going to the mines.
Wakati mimi nekala kunyumba mir fa tena chômage tena ya 2 ans plus les 3 ans ya carrière ça fait 5 ans.
So when I went back to I started staying home. I spent 2 years plus the other 3 years working in the mines, like 5 years doing nothing.
Meri patiente pa kunyumba mekala sana me shiku moya mipatana na Sœur Catherine Marguerite.
I stayed home, and then one day I met Sister Catherine and Sister Margaret.
Barquwa ma visite mu quartier ya Kanina mi pata fashi mwa besha beku en groupe na mi chopa nishike bile wanzo sema.
They were making visits in the district, and they formed a group, and I went to join the group where they were discussing.
Mi chopa ile mambo banzo sema kwa ni par rapport ya education kubeba bale abafunde bena beba bantu.
They were telling people about education, and they were registering children that should attend classes.
Nami balita référence banetupa programme vile batukabukeaka na turenda kuchika ku programme ile.
Then they indicated us a place where we could go and find them.
Kesho bunakachika tunatoka tunaenda kule bakutitaka.
The next day I went to the place that they indicated us.
Banatupa ma information programme yote banatupa façon tutanza kudipresenter kule kumasomo kule bakupataka.
They gave us the teaching program. and indicated us how we are going to study.
Turichika ku programme tunaanza kwenda kuchika tukunenda kuchika tunaanza njo ilikuwa beat ya education yangu ni pake lishiku ile.
I kept attending the school with the sisters, and that was the first time I decided to study.
Le moment que tunahabitué kwanza tunaanza kwenda pendant même 3 mois et problème ya carrière mbena nitoka mkichwa.
After 3 months of attending the school, all the ideas to go back to the mines were now.
Tunaenda barafiki ba mingi sana shi tulipendaka education tulienda kuchika tulifunda nabo mu condition tu ya bien.
We had other friends that I attended together the school.
Avec le temps le turikawa nabo ba retutafutia place muzuri le tunaende kala ya côté catholique.
I remember the school was in a compound of the Catholic Church.
Tufanshia ma place muzuri le tuanza kuikala tuanza kuria muzuri tunafunda ma condition ya bien.
Yeah, we had nice places, nice desks, and also we had a feeding program and a place where we could sit and eat.
Mi anza kutoka kunyumba washipokuria mena kudia wa kuria bien mueta ya bien.
In my case, I would leave home without eating, but when I go back, I was fed up.
Kupitia education ya Bon Pasteur mukichwa mukwe kintu me bareniforme muzuri sana, même fashile niko beku na félicité sana.
Thanks to the education that Bon Pasteur has given me, I am well appreciated even in the school and the places where I am living now.
Na kupitia option yangu ile miko na respecter beko kwa ba préfet beko na nuliza hii education orientia wapi na litaka témoignage para ya Bon Pasteur.
Even the headmasters in the school asked me where did I get such a nice education, and I say it's thanks to Bon Pasteur.
Na education kupitia education ya Bon Pasteur renifungula kichwa na renipa tena courage ya continuer tena na masomo.
The education received from Bon Pasteur has opened my mind and has given me courage to continue studying.
Mishu kupende kukontinue mu ile mambo ile miri pitamo me mipenda kesho nikwe na avenir ya mzuri.
My ambition is to stop going to the mines and have a nice future.
Enfin, njo pale mi na remercier Bon Pasteur kupitia biote bila renifanshia leo mi yakwa muntu normal mu société.
I thank Bon Pasteur for what they have done for me and for making me a good citizen.
Mi na remercier bale bote baranza kusoutenir njuu ya education yetu na remercier kwa nguvu yabo yote ba fournir.
I also want to thank all those who have supported Bon Pasteur for our education and for the hope that you have given us.
Kupitia ma conséquences ile miko na carrière mi ta conseiller bengine bale beko na continuer na education.
Due to the consequences that I have seen in the mines, I would like to invite those who are still in the mines.
Ta conseiller bashi cheze na masomo bakwe na courage ya kukontinue paka njo masomo njo na kuya maisha ya mundu mu via leo.
I also want to invite the children who are attending Bon Pasteur School to persevere and continue and not to be playing with studies because this is the future that is being built for them.
Juu leo itu kunaona kama we mtoto mwanaume mbele ufunde bon mu société hauna tuna importance sana utakuwa jeté.
In nowadays society, if you don't study, nobody will take care of you.
Ta conseiller bale beko na continuer ba kwepa na courage ya continuer njuu kesho na buye ba na bo ba kwepa ministre ba kuye ba député ba président mu national.
I encourage those who study right now to continue studying so they can become ministers and presidents.
Merci beaucoup.
I thank you all.
Merci, Asante.
Merci beaucoup.
Thank you very much for that presentation. Now we have another woman who was also in the mines. She will also share with us her experiences. And today she's with us in one of the sites called Kapata. She's doing sewing.
Jambo wandugu.
Hi everyone.
Mie ni Mama Giselle.
My name is Mama Giselle.
Unaweza kunionyesha mambo ile inaweza kunitendea katika maisha yangu.
I want to share the story of my life.
Kupitia Bon Pasteur, maisha yangu inatengamana.
Thanks to Bon Pasteur, my life has changed.
Mie maisha yangu ilikuwa ni paka ya kwenda mkariere na watoto yangu.
I used to work in the mines with my children.
Watoto bena chimbula mu manjimu, mie niko nasafisha.
My children were digging and I was washing the minerals.
Kupitia Bon Pasteur, baba kutufanya visit kumai kule.
One day Bon Pasteur came to the river where I used to wash cobalt.
Banakuwa kutuonesha sema mwacheni ile kazi mkwetu tupatie kazi ya mzuri tulikatalaka.
The first time that they came and told us to stop working in the mines and invite us to join their activities, we refused.
Kazi yangu ilikuwa paka kusafisha mumai, jua kupata produce, kwenda kujisha, jua kupata vyakula.
I told them that my work is washing cobalt, selling so I can provide for my family.
Kupitia ONG ya Bon Pasteur, leo mimi nakuwa na mimi mtu.
But thanks to Bon Pasteur today, I am living a dignified life.
Kuko siku moja,
one day,
niko nasafisha mabulongo yangu, banakuwa kuniita sema ebulema mule kumanjimu.
I remember one day I was washing the minerals and someone came and called me saying there's rockfall in the pit where your son is working.
Kwenda kuangalia kumbi ni mtoto yangu wa 20 ans.
When I arrived, I found my son that was 20 years old.
Jola alikufaka kwa bulema wa 20 ans, anaacha na mtoto wa 4 jours.
He was dead and he has left me with a 4-year-old child.
Kupitia ONG ya Bon Pasteur, mukariere sitapitaka tena.
Thanks to Bon Pasteur, I decided to quit working in the mines.
Baritubeba, banitusensibilize pale.
I was taken by Bon Pasteur and was sensitized.
Banituliza kuko kazi ya kushona na kufanya mikate.
And they asked me what I wanted to do, either sewing or doing bakery.
Mimi nasema mitenda langu kushona, juu mikate mimi nayo kufanya.
I chose to do sewing because I already know to bake bread.
Kupitia Bon Pasteur, mimi nayo kushona.
And thanks to Bon Pasteur, now I know I can sew.
Na ingo mimi navala mimi shona mimi mwenyewe.
And the dress that you see me, the clothes that I have put today, those I have sewed myself.
Hapa hata mkariere, hata watoto wangu shipendaki tena wapite mkariere.
Today, even my children, I have forbidden them from going to the mines.
Omba Mungu anisaidie kupitia kushona kwangu, nikipate mashini nitakuwa pia na watoto wangu watakuwa pia, atawafundisha kazi mzuri.
I am praying God that thanks to my tailoring works, I can take care of my children.
Kupitia Bon Pasteur, mimi naona sema maisha yangu inabadilika.
And thanks to Bon Pasteur, my life has changed.
Mimi naomba bashishimamia hapa vile bananiforme mie baformeko na bengine nabo bashide magariere.
I just would like to invite Bon Pasteur, as they have helped me, to help also those other many women who are still working in the mines.
Ndio nampikia asante sana ONG ya Bon Pasteur, napika asante.
I would like to thank you all, the Bon Pasteur NGO, for your help.
Katika kutenda mema msichoki.
Please don't stop doing what is good.
Asante.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Asante.
I offer back to Christina. We have finished our presentation. There is much to present, but because of time, we just present that. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Jane. And I just want to really, really appreciate these two people that have shared from very difficult moments of their lives. And I think as a Good Shepherd family around the world, please tell them that we feel strongly connected and we feel in solidarity with the pain that they've gone through. And we are so happy to be part now of celebrating the success and the new life that they have engaged. So I would like now to ask all our participants, for some of you, the program Bon Pasteur was already known, others might have heard for the first time, but I think it was really wonderful for all of us to hear from the real voices of the women, of the kids, what it really means in changing lives, the work that Bon Pasteur is doing. So I invite you to raise your hand or open your microphones and make your comments or ask questions, and our wonderful Nico is going to translate if needed, also for the ladies, for the children who are behind. Don't be shy. And maybe I will ask Winifred if she wants to share her comments first.
Good morning, good afternoon.
Good morning. Good morning.
As Christina said, my name is Winifred Doherty, and I am a Good Shepherd sister, and I work in New York. I don't know, Nicole, if you're going to translate into French.
Jambo na mwebote. Ule kona sema ni Winifred, aiko natumika na Bon Pasteur ya New York.
And my job is to represent your voices at the United Nations.
Na kazi yake ni kwanza kumisemelea mweye kunivyo ya Nations Unies.
And for me personally, I am very excited to have heard the two people who gave witness to what life was like before the Good Shepherd came to Kolwezi and what their life is like now.
Ya nafurahi kwa namna upekee gisi anasikia hii matemaniaji mbili banaleta kwa mama na mkubwa kuhusu ile maisha balikuwa nayo zamani na vile maisha yanabadilika kuya leo.
And I only wish that I had both of them living with me in New York so as to speak at the United Nations.
Anasema aliwazia kama saa amibebe mwebote anende na mweye ku Nations Unies juu museme hivi vitu na wabisikie kule.
So congratulations to both of them and to the whole of the community of Kolwezi.
Ananifelicite sana mwebote juu ya makazi na Bon Pasteur ya Kolwezi.
The question I ask at the United Nations and that I ask when I hear your testimonies is, why is this happening?
Ulizo moja ila naulizaka ku Nations Unies inakuwaka ni juu ya nini mambo ya vile iko natufikia.
And we heard about child protection, and the Convention on the Rights of the Child is over 30 years old.
Anasema tunasikia kama protection ya batoto na tena convention juu ya protection ya batoto isa kufanya 30 ans.
And in more recent years, we have the Sustainable Development Goals with 8.7 to eradicate child labor.
Na tena kunakuya ma objectif de développement durable ile inakuya hapa sasa juu ya kusema ile point yayo sasa inasema ifo kukombanisha kazi ya watoto.
So why is it we have good laws, we have great desire to make the world a better place, and why is it that you and your people are suffering?
Tuko anauliza na tunaona kama ile mabitu ni juu ya kusaidia watu na hasa kwa nini na batu yetu tuko nateswa.
And so when I look at the profits of the mining industry in 2019, the profits were $61 billion.
Anasema wakati anaangalia vile industry ya maminere vile iko nafaa makuta banafanya 60 milliards de dollars.
And so we have companies, big companies who exploit you, your families, and the very environment in which you live, the earth, for profit. For who? It's not shared with you.
Anasema kuna kuwa ma entreprise ya munene iko na exploite mweye na exploite mafamili yenu na mafasi pale muko juu ya kujifanya makuta na abapartage ile ma benefits beko napata na mweye.
So when I look at what the sisters and you, the community, have done in Kolwezi, my heart is full of joy when I see you.
Asa kama naangalia vile baser bana kazi banatumika pamoja na mwe ma community roho yake inafurahi sana.
But when I read of how you are treated in your own country because of the corporate sector, because of bad government laws, because of corruption, it makes me very angry.
Lakini wakati anaanza kusoma vile beko na traite batoto na bantu mupei yetu juu ya ma entreprise na maentere ile batu beko nayo antuka ashirika sana.
And as Christina said in the beginning, this is the year to end child labor. But my question to you, do you see an end to it for the people of your country?
Winfred, I did not get that one, please.
I know. This year is the year of ending child labor. So
hii mwaka inakuya njoo mwaka wanasema tutamaliza kazi ya watoto.
So you have managed to end it for your families at this moment, but do you see the end of it for all of the families living in the DRC for this year? Do you see that happening?
Asa anasema muna mwe deja hapa muna toka mu carrière. Na est-ce que unawazia que ma famille nyingine na hiyo itatoka mu carrière?
And so my question to you, my answer to that is I don't see it ending this year, or indeed I don't see it ending in 2030. But I would love for all of us to come together with one voice to address the issue of how people and planet are exploited.
Anasema asa yevila naona ke hii kazi ya batoto mu carrière aisha leo. Ndio maana pale tunapaswa sasa kuungana mkono kwa mkono wote tutumike pour tumalize ile kazi ya batoto na namna ile beko na exploiter batu mu ma communauté yetu.
And the whole issue of mining is not just the problem of the DRC, it's a problem in Africa, it's a problem in Latin America, and it's a problem in Asia.
Sema mambo ya makariere na maminere haina paka mambo ya RDC, mambo iko mazi iko mu America Latin na iko mu mapei ingine ya Afrika.
And so while I am really happy for you and your lives and the way you're living now. It really makes me joyful. I look to you to help all of us to change this situation for the whole of the peoples of the world who are exploited, just as we heard in the stories that were told by the two witnesses.
Anasema anafurahi sana wakati ananiona mweye mnaacha na maisha ile mko naishi leo. Asa anaanza kuniangalia na mweye musaidie juu tusaidie bale beko na tumika baache kutumika kwa career na bo baishi maisha ile mko naishi hapa hivi.
You, through the transformation of your lives, are a witness that change is possible, and you have done it, and congratulations.
Ananifelicite sana na anasema mweye muko njo batemoin ya kuonesha ke kushanje maisha iko possible. Na ananifelicite sana.
Thank you. Thank you, Winifred. Sorry, go ahead.
I have one more thing to say. We are ending the 2 weeks of CSW.
Na hapa tuko na maliza exposition yetu ile nafanya 2 semaines.
And yesterday in the document, well, I say thank God, that there is mention of ending child labor one time. In the document from CSW, there is reference to ending child labor, just one reference.
Na mudokima ile ya CSW mulikuwa indication moja iko naonesha kumaliza kazi ya watoto.
And this indicates again a desire by member states to end child labor.
Na ile naonesha desire ile ba mambo ile kundi banapenda juu ya kumaliza kazi ya watoto.
So how can we together hold them to that promise? Thank you.
Sasa tujulize, je, tunawezi shebote kufanya kuke ile mambo ifanyike?
Thank you.
Asante sana.
Asante sana.
Thank you, Winifred, for very passionate recognition of this great results. I have also to acknowledge that the sisters from the time of Catherine, I don't know if Catherine is here with us, if she wants to say something, but up to today with Jane and Nico together with us at GSIF, we have decided not to stay silent and just work with the children and the women, but we have decided to engage with the big boys, no, the big stakeholders. We have decided to sit at the tables with the Minister of Mines, with the provincial government, with the CEOs of the big mining companies, with the World Economic Forum people at the OECD, and we have decided to bring these voices there and to claim the rights from those who are supposed to provide access to these rights. And we don't want to give up, although that is a very different and challenging environment to be present, and it feels sometimes that it's so far away, the discussion from what happens on the ground. But we believe that we need to address this complex phenomenon at all levels, and we need to keep the profile high. And I want to praise Bon Pasteur because of all those who claim they are doing something to eliminate child labor. There's many big players around the world who claim they're doing a lot. We know Bon Pasteur is doing real work, and we've heard it today. So we count on you, Winifred, and all the people that sit at the tables where governments are to really bring the experience of those who are at the grassroots and can bring real life testimonies of what works and not what is imposed from top to just whitewash the reputation and the problems. I want to give the floor to others who want to intervene. I see in the chat box John Lopez from Malaysia, our very dear friend. And I want to remember Susan Chia, Sister Susan, who really pushed all of us, me first, to go and do something in Kolwezi. And I was the first one to say, you are crazy. Why should we engage in such a difficult situation? And she didn't know anything about DRC either, but she was a true visionary, a real visionary. We've been so fortunate. And she moved mountains. She went to her friends in Malaysia and Singapore, and we have them represented here. And she fundraised and helped us start the work in Kolwezi. And now we see how it has blossomed. So thank you, John, for being here, and Teresa, of course, and all. And I see Gloria Bon, who was with us from the beginning of this effort, so far away from Kolwezi, but so close in the heart. Any other comment or question? We would like to hear from you that have been participating in this very intense conversation.
Maybe I say a couple of words, Christina.
Go ahead, Andrea.
I think I really appreciate your emphasis on the work that we do at advocacy, not just at the grassroots level, but in those kind of bigger picture, you know, with the bigger players of you know, cobalt industry, where things can be really changed. So I think this program is one of the best program to address, I think, the issue of child labor and in an holistic way. So with a good shepherd charism in the entire of the DRC. I think I think we need to say to everybody that when we sit on those tables, there are many and big NGOs that invest money, but I think in terms of real work and real work with people, I think what we do and what BP Kolwezi is doing is really great. So I think this is something we need to acknowledge and to see how we do lots of great work at the grassroots level, but also at the international level. So this is very important and should be a model for many other programs in Africa, how to in Africa, Rimowa, and worldwide, how to address the root causes also with sitting in the right tables internationally. So I share my appreciation to everybody, especially to the people who share their testimonial today and the team in Kolwezi.
Thank you, Andrea.
Christina.
Yes, John, please join us.
Yeah, I just want to say a very big thank you to the whole team of GSIF and the sisters and mission partners in Kolwezi for pushing through the difficult, challenging times. Having money and having the backup is very good, but they need to, we can understand it must have been very challenging work. And it's very good to hear that they are not going to be silent, but they are going to go to and sit at the table with the people who can make the difference and bravely and courageously to face them, you know, and call them forth. Yeah. Well, of course, gently negotiating with them. So it's really wonderful to hear that the systemic change or the advocacy work is going to continue. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, John. I would like to acknowledge here in this panel today, this group today, we have a lot of the people that a little bit further away from Kolwezi in Rome have been a big part also of the achievements. And as Winifred was saying, those who work in the back room and have to really support what's going on at the grassroots. I think it's a model for Good Shepherd of great partnership and dedication. And I'm thinking of Laura, Simone, Calogero here, who are I think on a daily basis, 2-3 times a day in Kolwezi with their hearts, their telephones, their computers, and assure that the program keeps going, while at the same time help me on one end and Jane on the other end to address the demands, the requests, the advocacy moments. And it's an incredible adventure where we've been drawn that probably we did not expect at some level. We find ourselves one day discussing with Google about how can they support these efforts in the real world and fight the narrative of the big NGOs that this problem has been resolved in Kolwezi. There's no more problem with cobalt. And on the other day, we're discussing with Jane, how can we fix the fish ponds that are leaking and the fishes are dying. So it's a model of partnership that really we hope to share as a truly guided by a strong passion for the same mission. Simo, do you want to say something?
Well, thank you, first of all, Christina, and to all the people that have presented today. It was really emotional to listen. My colleague in Kolwezi, but also the lady and Leonard, if I remember well his name. I would like also to extend the appreciation to Sara Braga for her great support with the communication side, and recently also Sara Del Debbio. We should consider also their great job recently in case of Sara. Nothing. I just want to say that for me, rather than a work, is really a mission and an honor to work to be part of the great adventure of BP Kolwezi. So I'm really, really happy, and I thank you all my colleagues in Kolwezi and the sisters also.
Thank you, Simo. Any other comment from our friends in Asia or from, I don't know, the sisters in Africa? I see Ernestine here, Maggie.
I'd just like to share an insight.
Please go ahead, Teresa.
It's really nice to see this project start from a very beginning of a rights-based approach. You know, the project started fresh, and it was able to incorporate all the principles of engagement, you know, and looking at all the different circles that surround the program participants, and to engage, you know, in those areas. And I think we have so much to learn from this project, which started without a baggage or a history, you know, of trying to correct something that was already ingrained in the system. So I just want to thank the team for showing the way that it's possible to start something new and to start it well and to, you know, conceptualize it on the theory of change from the very beginning. Thank you for this model.
Thank you, Teresa. And I would add to this, Jane mentioned earlier that the staff, the team of Bon Pasteur is now almost hitting 100. And the sisters are a small percentage of this 100. It's an incredibly strong team made of men and women, where the sisters have been the yeast and has really grown into a very robust structure. So it's a model also of partnership with the local capacities, enhancing and building the local capacities, the talents that we see here represented with Nico, with Anne-Riet. I remember Anne-Riet, those of you who have seen Maisha, the documentary, she was one of the teachers that was giving testimonies on how the challenges they had in taking the children out of the school. And now I see her here telling, you know, with pride, the story that it's also the story of her life. Hey, Anne-Riet. So I think this is really also a very strong and powerful model for all of us, all our Good Shepherd programs in Africa and for the rest of the world, or how we can work together, lay and sisters and local people and international staff to help each other and build on each other's strengths. Any other? Oh, Ernestine, please.
Bonjour à tout le monde. Juste, je voudrais partager un petit mot pour vous dire mes sentiments en voyant le grand projet, les grandes missions que vous tous réalisez dans cet endroit. C'est vraiment incroyable ce que vous faites pour les personnes vulnérables là-bas et vraiment, je me sens vraiment votre zèle, votre enthousiasme, vraiment cette audacité. Et je suis vraiment contente avec vous et vous encourage dans cette mission que vous réalisez, vous tous et nous tous ensemble. Et bon courage et merci beaucoup.
Thank you, merci. Merci beaucoup, Ernestine. We're about to hit our time. I see here in the chat box from the sister of Susan Chia. And she's reminding us that Susan's great wish was to achieve her vision. And it is heartwarming to see so many passionate sponsors who work so hard to achieve such excellent successes. And Susan would be very happy to see this too. I will pray for further successes and please continue with the excellent work. Thank you, Elizabeth. Thank you very, very much for bringing this testimony. I don't know if there's anyone else who wants to say a word. I see here our Chief Financial Officer with a heart up. I don't know if he wants to say something because he's also a member of the family of Kolwezi. He speaks Swahili. So he's...
Yeah. Yes. Hi to everybody. I've just been in Kolwezi some weeks ago. So hello, Sister Jane, Abari Sakazi. Hi to all of you. It was really beautiful to be together and to see what a wonderful work you are doing there. And, you know, being part of this is really inspiring. I feel very honored. So just big thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so I think we've heard now from everybody, and I want to thank you all for joining us in sharing the beautiful things that are happening, and also the terrible things that are still happening in Kolwezi that I hope will keep inspiring us to to continue in our many different ways to support from Kolwezi, from Rome, from Italy, from Asia, from New York. You see that the challenges are huge, and so we need the support of everybody for this project and for many others. And I have great hopes, Ernestine, that a network within Africa of all Good Shepherd programs can really help from the bottom up, addressing this really deep issues, but doing it with this passion and smiles and energy. I think we can achieve a lot. So thank you all, and we'll get to the end of the second week, Winifred, but on a very high note. Huh? Thank you all. Thank you very much.